moderator, we have some exciting panelists for today. Do you all want Shark Tank? Yes? So, can I have the AV please? Our first panelist.
In the world of technology, a few innovators push the boundaries of possibility. Today, we introduce one such leader, Besta Prem Sai, founder of Vecros. From his early days at IIT Delhi, where he developed his skills in aeromodeling, Prem Sai's passion for drones led to a groundbreaking achievement. Drones that can operate in GPS-denied environments. What was once deemed impossible is now a reality, driven by his dedication to innovation. As the driving force behind Vecros, Prem Sai has transformed the drone industry. Under his leadership, Vecros has advanced autonomous drone technology to new heights, enabling operations in challenging environments with unmatched efficiency. With backing from partners like IIT Delhi, NSR Cell IMB, and NVIDIA, Vecros is redefining the potential of drone technology. Prem Sai gained national recognition when he appeared on Shark Tank India, introducing millions to the future of drone technology. His relentless drive continues to reduce deployment costs by 50% while unlocking new possibilities for the future. We can't wait to hear him speak about his journey at LIW BNMIT Symposium.
So can I invite Prem Sai to join us on stage as a panelist? Next, we have the founder of Guitar Club, Mr. Pawan.
Pawan Kumar is a seasoned entrepreneur and data science expert with over 12 years of experience in building data-driven consumer product. Recognized by HDFC and Diners Club as one of the top 25 fintech founders in India, Pawan is making a significant impact in the industry. As the CEO and co-founder of Spence, he aims to put a credit card in every Indian's hand by offering secure credit card solutions accessible to all. Pawan's journey began with co-founding Guitar Club, a platform that brought live events to local community. Despite its success, the pandemic forced its closure. However, he persisted and co-founded Namaste, a quick service restaurant that has gained immense popularity and employs 350 people. His 6-year experience at LinkedIn saw him lead product data science, developing tools like LinkedIn Lite and driving massive user engagement. Pawan also spent time at Uber, co-developing key strategies like Uber Bus and WhatsApp to Ride, revolutionizing global user experiences. We can't wait to hear him speak about his entrepreneurial journey at LIW BNMIT Symposium.
Put your hands together and help me welcoming Pawan. Our next panelist is the driving force behind Fino. Can I have the AV please?
In the world of entrepreneurship, few redefine success. Today, we introduce one such leader, Aniket Jain, co-founder of Fino.io. After earning his bachelor's in computer applications, Aniket broke tradition to co-found Solutions Infini in 2009 with Ashish Agarwal. What began as a college project grew into a $35 million B2B company with 150 employees. His strategic vision led to the formation of Kalera in 2018, a global cloud communication platform listed on the New York Stock Exchange with a turnover of $110 million. As an investor in over 20 startups, Aniket continues to shape the future of B2B technology. His new venture, Fino.io, is a testament to his unwavering commitment to innovation. Beyond entrepreneurship, he's an ardent marathon runner, embodying dedication in all aspects of life. Aniket Jain's remarkable accomplishments are creating endless possibilities for the future of technology and entrepreneurship. We can't wait to hear him speak about his journey at LIW BNMIT Symposium.
Put your hands together and help me in welcoming Aniket Jain. Next panelist is all about making technology more human. He is the driving force behind Slang Labs. Can we have the AV for Jairam?
In the realm of technology, a few visionaries redefine the boundaries of innovation. Today, we honor one such leader, Jairam D. Mahale. With over 20 years of experience at global tech giants like Facebook, Apple, IBM, and Blue Coat, the founders of Slang Labs are driving the future of Gen AI. Previously, they founded Little I Labs, Facebook's first and only acquisition from India. As head of product at Slang Labs, Jairam has transformed AI technology, making it more intuitive and accessible to millions. His groundbreaking work sets new industry standards and elevates user experiences worldwide. Recognizing the need for seamless communication between humans and technology, Jairam pioneered solutions that revolutionized how we interact with our devices. His leadership inspires excellence, fostering a culture of innovation and collaboration. With his eyes on the future, Jairam continues to shape technologies that will redefine our digital landscape. Today, we celebrate Jairam D. Mahale, not just for his remarkable accomplishments, but for the endless possibilities he brings to the future of technology.
Put your hands together and help me in welcoming Mr. Jairam. A big round of applause, please. And last but certainly not the least, I'm thrilled to introduce our final panelist for the day, Vignesh Kumar. Can I have the AV please?
In today's fast-evolving tech landscape, artificial intelligence is at the forefront of innovation, and leading this transformation is Vignesh Kumar. Vignesh spearheads groundbreaking AI-driven digital transformation initiatives that are redefining the industry. Recognized as a LinkedIn top voice for 2024, his influence extends far beyond the boardroom. A seasoned TEDx speaker, Vignesh has inspired audiences on global stages, sharing his insights into the limitless possibilities of AI. With over 18 years of experience across SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, Vignesh brings a wealth of knowledge in AI, cloud computing, and strategic consulting. His commitment to innovation has driven success at companies like VMware and Dell. He mentors the next generation of tech leaders and advises global organizations on AI strategy. We can't wait to hear him speak about his journey at LIW BNMIT Symposium.
We welcome Vignesh Kumar. A big round of applause for him. Okay, so let's start. Are you all ready? Yes? Okay. Students usually, when they start their career, they're confused. What should they specialize in? Should they generalize or specialize? Should they be open to explore? What's your take? Pawan, would you want to address this question?
Sure. It's a great question. I think this is a question that I had roughly about 16 years back when I was sitting, like most of you who are sitting here today, right, in my college, thinking about what should I do. Yes, I did get into engineering. I largely got into telecom engineering, and the confusion that everybody has, is this the right domain? Is this what we should be doing? And with about 15 years of WorkX, something that I've learned and I would want to share, I think the best path that you're going to design for yourself is not to specialize very early, is to be a generalist. Now, I'll tell you why being a generalist is very important when you start off your career. All right? Your professional career is 40 years long, if you are lucky. All right? I recently read a stat somewhere that said the average age for retirement in the US today is 78 years, and the average life expectancy is 75 years. You're going to die before you retire. Okay? So if that is true, right, you better be doing something that you love. Right? So your first 3 to 5 years of your work experience, the first companies that you're going to join, the first few career opportunities that you're going to get, try and figure out what is it that you like. Now, it's very difficult for you to figure out what is it that you're going to like, but you can figure out what you don't like, right? I have friends who started with me as engineers and later went on to become very good at sales, went on to become very good designers, went on to become very great marketers, right? You figure out what is it that you like doing, because for next 40 years or more, you're going to be actually following that profession, right? If you get stuck in a career that you don't enjoy, the next 40 years is going to be miserable. Think about it. So the first 5 years, like I've had the opportunity, I joined a company which was largely a services company, gave me an opportunity to try my hands at data science, product, marketing, a bit of sales. Then I got to know what is it that I don't like. Then as a process of elimination, I kind of removed some of them and then stuck to something that I could manage and enjoy. So I think my humble request for all the students here is figure out what you love, because you're going to be doing that for the next 40 years. Don't get this wrong.
Thank you. So we all need to figure out what we love. And we spend most of our days, most part of our day working, like almost 8 to 9 hours. So that's true. Now, AI is vast and powerful, and it's natural for people to fear it might replace jobs. True? How should the young minds approach AI, and which sector or jobs will most likely be impacted? Jairam sir, would you want to address this?
Right. So, to put it simply, who built the AI, right? It's the human mind, correct? So, automation, robotics, eliminating jobs, this chatter and the fear, or in fact, that has evolved itself since last, let's say, a couple of decades, right? The industrial automation part, etc. Industry 4, if you might heard it. Not taking the jargon, keeping the jargon aside. The point is, when humans build a technology, right, it's for their own sake and own good, so that we as technologists, as humans, can, do good for ourselves, right? That's the whole objective of, building something called AI today. Or tomorrow, 10 years down the line, it could be something else. We are already talking about something called AGI, right? So that is going to be there, right? But the fundamental power of what we are, why are we in the technology field in the first place, and most importantly, with all this change, I think Noyonita alluded to, where change is only the constant, right? Is something boils down to the fact that how each one of you in your formative sort of professional years build yourself to thrive and adopt in this change. And more specifically, given that all of you are in the technology field, which is a fast-changing field, how do you present yourself so that you can adapt and thrive better? And I'll probably get into the details in a while, right? What does that mean practically for you? But broadly, I would urge you to not really fall for this thing of, AI is going to take jobs. Yes, it is. But it is going to take jobs that were relevant 10 years ago, right? But it is going to create more jobs. Now, your question should be, how do I make AI better, right? So that's where you should be heading to. Or how do I make use of AI better so that, I can build businesses, I can overall give back something to the society by building a business or making lives easier, right? That should be the approach we should all be thinking around.
Sir, you want to hear your take?
Yeah, I think just to add, so the famous quote from Jensen, NVIDIA CEO, right? He said, it's not AI which will replace you. It's the person who's going to use AI will replace you, certainly. Definitely that person will replace you. So I think this happens in technology every now and then. Whenever there is a major tectonic shift, you will inevitably hear that it's doomsday sort of a propaganda, right? Like computers, when it came, it was like as if I still remember my father was telling maybe my job will be lost because most of the work that I'm doing looks like computer will do it. Nothing happened. He became better engineer and he started scaling there. But had he chosen at that time saying, no, I will not touch, I'll resist and not touch this so-called mouse to do my mechanical designs and all, I'm sure he would have lost his job and he would have become irrelevant. I think that's the same thing that's going to happen here. Yes, AGI is a different concept. I don't want to go deep into that at this point, or combine AI with quantum computing and then say what's the future going to look like. Let's just look at the next 2 years when you all are going to come out of into the market, right? So being relevant with the technology is what the industry needs. So if you are using relevant technologies that is like powered by AI, I'm sure you're going to have enhanced roles in future. And for all you know, you'll enjoy better than what we all enjoyed when we came out.
Amazing. I would want to ask, frame this question. The field of drone technology combines both hardware and software, right? How can students with degrees in core engineering, like mechatronics or mechanical engineering, integrate both aspects to excel in this sector?
Well, that's a nice question. Today I see a lot of guys going for AI, software and everything. So we had a famous quote inside our office or in our startup itself that first sip of any engineering will take you to software engineering, but at the end, hardware is waiting for you. So today, the most valued company is NVIDIA, Apple, and then comes Microsoft. Both two are hardware companies, and then comes the software. Hardware is where the software runs and where the core heart is there. And if you are missing that as an engineer, you are missing out on a lot of stuff. And today engineering is not linear. It's not like you are a civil engineer, you are going to build bridges. There are smart bridges, smart cities coming up. If you are a mechanical guy, you are going to put chip in every car, every truck, and everything that is moving. And if you are a CS guy, well, you have all these core fields to enable them. So it's not really about today what field you are in, or what discipline you have chosen to, and what you have not chosen for. Like I have just talked to your management, and some of them were saying that mechanical guys are those who chose not to go into IT, so they are in mechanical. But trust me, software is going to hit you hard. So when I went to IIT, when I opted for engineering physics, which is a very non-contemporary program, I learned coding because I wanted to simulate a pendulum. And that dragged me into programming. And that dragged me into programming drones. And to be frank, our IIT doesn't have aerospace engineering. It's all self-taught, and we used internet, alumni, everything left and right to build first prototype. And that is something that my college has never taught. But my college, what it ensured is that I have right connects and also right platform to grow. While everybody has it, I am the one odd out. And I feel out of 200 or odd crowd here, if you are focusing on just your core knowledge or whatever it is, it's not enough. And you need to talk to other guys, other people from other departments, seniors or industry experts or anyone, or at least me, if you reach out in LinkedIn, I can definitely give you some 2 cents of mine, how I have switched from hardware to software and then back to hardware. I think that's where the future is headed, and given the skill, like, you have to learn a lot of stuff and also unlearn the love that you have for the core field, and be a generalist where you are open to learn everything, because nobody is going to stop you to learn CS if you are a mechanical engineer. You just need to go and ask the professor, hey, can I do this for free? Or can I talk to this colleague of mine or my senior? I just want to code this out and want to do this. By just doing or trying out things, you are going to inculcate. And coming to the core field that I deal in drones, it's not really drone that we operate. We are just putting your MacBook on drone. We are just making a PC that is small enough to go into every drone, so it is smart enough to fly. That's what we are doing, and that's what we have seen it for, and that's what we are getting funded or appraised for. So that's all.
Also to add, sir, just want to understand, you've been spearheading giant companies. What do they look out, especially from freshers? That's like a mystery, because most of them apply for jobs and they don't get a reply, right? And they keep waiting, okay, what's happening? So what do the giant companies actually expect out of freshers?
Yeah. So if you look at it, right, like there are, especially the big companies, the expectation has changed dramatically in the last, I would say, decade. Maybe when I started, there was a template where we used to say that, okay, this is how a candidate would, we will select a person. By the way, I'm a mechanical engineer, so all the mechanical engineers in the house do not get dejected that can I transition into something called a software. It doesn't matter, okay? If you're an engineer, you always can figure out what's the, from a technology standpoint, you can do it. So just coming back to the question, right? Like in our days, when I started way back in 2003 and all, what the industry had a template, like you'll hire people with good IQ, not the EQ, and EQ was not even spoken those days, but good IQ, and then we were put through a very rigorous training, and then the smartest set of that lot were the ones who were chosen into the development projects, okay? So that's how it all started for me, right? But what happened, I'm seeing this transition in 2012, 13 sort of, and now it's even accelerated, right? What's happening is that the expectation for you to come, land, learn, and then fly, that runway is dramatically reduced. That's the big change I'm seeing. the expectation is, and I don't blame the industry, because the technology is evolving at that pace, right? Especially the com science grads here, or someone who is interested in going into the tech space. By the time, if you're taking 6 months like what I took in 2003, already you might be learning an obsolete model. That's how things are evolving and the pace at which we are evolving. And that's why the industry more and more is starting to ask for people who are ready. Like when they come in, it doesn't mean that they start from ground zero. If there are 10 steps, can you meet us at 6th step or 4th step, 5th step? Great if you land someone who's at the 8th step, 9th step, right? Because they are the ones who are instant winners, and we can just deploy them into active projects, live projects. So that's the expectation that big companies have. It's no longer about just a degree or a tag that you bring to the table. Yes, it adds value, but trust me, the interviews are where things are getting more and more challenging. We really ask for questions which are very relevant, practical implementation of your theoretical knowledge. Like, what have you done? Like, if someone says that I'm really curious to build a, let's say, deep learning, someone just comes and puts that on a resume. We just don't ask fundamental questions like, what is deep learning? Do you know neural networks? Do you know CN? Okay, let's leave the jargons. So we don't just go and ask the theoretical things, right? We ask like, okay, tell me, how did you choose, like when you went to build a neural network, what did you do? How does it differentiate from heuristics? How did you, I mean, just going deeper into the technical aspects, right? And those things can be very well explained when you have done something practically. Because the moment someone talks theoretical, by the second layer we can identify that it's just bookish knowledge, right? And that's where I think some of you really need to be curious. Do not just expect the institutions and the colleges to just be the source for bringing everything together for you. The great minds that we hire or come into the industry are people who do a lot more beyond what is taught in the curriculum. They are either Kaggle score, they have a great Kaggle score, or they are like, they show multiple dimensions by going beyond what the college offers. So that's my only take. There's no big difference from a big company or a startup standpoint. I mean, the big ones today are actually startups of 2 years back. OpenAI was a startup. Like the Perplexity still behaves like a startup. Netflix few years back was small. Zoom was small. So all of these were very small companies, but the mindset that all these companies are looking for is someone who can just not rest on their college theoretical knowledge and try to come to the industry and learn in the industry.
Thank you so much.
Can I add a point to that? Also directly addressing this, I'm someone who's taken roughly 10 interviews a day for about 2 years, and I also get a lot of resumes from students. The first and foremost thing that you should avoid is sending your resume for a job without even having a subject line. Trust me, I get about 70% of emails asking for a job without a subject line. I don't even open them. First and foremost is good hygiene. Second, when you're applying for a job, you just don't send a resume, right? You have to show interest in what that job is, what is the requirement in that job, and how do you see yourself fitting into the job. Like in that email subject, if you can write, why do you think that you fit this job better? That already gives you a head start amongst the 70% other people that will get rejected directly. Okay? And the third thing is, you have to demonstrate. Job market is getting too competitive, right? It's becoming very, very competitive. You have to also demonstrate one key project, like sir was saying, right? Your Kaggle scores. How have you been able to apply your learnings for a real world problem? And how can you kind of attribute that to the requirement that somebody has actually added, right? So these basic hygienes are super critical. And if you really want a response, I think Jivita was asking this question, most of you don't get a reply when you apply, right? This is a common problem. I worked at LinkedIn for 6 years. You know, for a job, how many job posts happen? Like one job would get close to 2 lakh applications. Is it humanly possible for somebody to actually reply? No, they're not going to. The only resumes that stand out get a response back. And trust me, 90% of the resumes that get sent don't even match the job description. Somebody would have, in the job requirement, said you need to know Python. Your resume wouldn't even have Python written. Have you all been there? You just look at a job saying, oh, engineering job, I'll apply. Right? Don't do that mistake. Right? There are, outside of human evaluation, there is something called an ATS, right? Automated tracking systems. Those systems will actually kind of remove you out of the system very early on. Right? Ensure that you're applying for relevant job, and when you're applying, put in that little bit of time to say why you are best fit for this job. That's the first way for you to get noticed in an application process. The rest is your skills. Right? If you don't solve the first step, you don't even solve the later steps. Does that make sense? Thank you.
Can I just ask one example, because maybe that will make it very clear, right? How many of you have GitHub profiles here? Oh, wow. Okay, great. That's really encouraging, okay? Okay, so I'll tell you a live thing that happened a couple of years back, okay? There were candidates sending me left, right, center resumes, freshers, 3 pages, okay? I don't know what, my resume is 2 pages, I don't know, 3 pages, and projects, internship. And one lady sent me her GitHub profile. LinkedIn, she pinged me and said, sir, I love your role. This is my GitHub profile. Have a look at my work. And guess who got the job? Out of 120 resumes that were shortlisted, we didn't even go through that. Here was a person just as young as you. She had just reached out to me. And her GitHub profile, when we saw what kind of work she had done, is what really, I mean, there's no substitution for that profile, right? Like everything else on a resume becomes immaterial the moment you see what actual work she has done. So that's how things are changing, and that's how fast things are changing, where people really are getting great jobs by just having a very, I would not say casual, but very targeted conversations, because they know I want to be working for this person in this role. I found this particular role very interesting, let me reach out, and here are my digital assets which will back me. That's how focused things are getting, and try it out. I'm not saying all of you need to, again, it's not a rat race that I want to set out here, but all of you should at least have multi-dimensions when you're coming to the market, right? So try it out, just an example, and not to be followed like it's not like a rule book, but just wanted to tell an example that how practical things can really add a lot of weight when you're asking for a job to a person, okay?
Amazing. So, but now when we put the job description and then give a nice prompt, give me a resume out, I think we even get that, right? AI is solving that question, that problem. So the next part is, okay, we get through, we get an interview, and that's where we get rejected. So Aniket, I want to understand what kind of people do you want to hire in your team? Like, is it the mindset, is it the skills, is it the marks? What matters, or the courses that they have done, like all the courses that they put up on LinkedIn, that really matters? True?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Yuta, for asking this question. Look, I think generally in the last 15 years of me working, what we've seen is that the approach is a lot more important. Like we look at like an approach, how do you go about it? How do you like put in, like I think today we were talking earlier just before this session, we were just grouping and we were talking about design thinking. How do you sort of bring everything in a design thinking framework, right? Just about looking at problem, how do you approach the problem? How do you look at the problem and what are you thinking on the solution? Most of them miss fundamentally, they only start talking about the outcomes and therefore you miss the bus. What we look at is a complete circle of journey from starting, how do you solve a problem? Which most of them, get into this bucket where you get rejected. There are also other aspects of getting rejected is like no clarity of thought, what you want to do in life, like where do you want to get started, how do you see yourself growing the ladder of the value chain in the next 2-3 years. I think the other is that there's an expectation, setting forefront. I've seen that most of the interviews that we do is that if people come with less expectation is always better.
then you can always you can aspire for more. But I've seen people who ask for a lot more in terms of money or expectation of role. Ask 2 questions because it's a cool thing to do, but then it becomes, all those are a sort of a negative parameters for you to get scored down. So you have to have the right set of approach, balance, questions, right framework to sort of apply in these job markets. And I would rather anti-suggest that you should not be taking interviews. You should be taking interviews. You should be probably entrepreneurs, founders. Some of you, how many of you here want to become entrepreneurs, founders? How many of you? Wow, that's like a good number. Crazy. And how many of you think can become, as some hook to become entrepreneur? Wow.
I think they all got inspired by you folks, guys.
No, that's what we're here for. That's why
I think to remove this bias, we wanted to ask, before you met, saw Aniket, Pawan and Sai, how many still wanted to be founders? That's so inspirational, folks.
So you've been a startup mentor. I'm sure every other day there are a lot of people who DM you and ask you, so I want to be mentored, and I feel anybody who wants to have a startup needs a mentor, right? So you mentored so many people. How do you choose that this is a startup that I want to mentor? What do you see that spark?
Yeah, see, a mentor-mentee relationship is like make it simple, it's like a husband and wife relationship, okay? Because you have your days when you are completely way off, but some days you really have fun, right? But end of the day, you can sustain that relationship only when you have the basic core ethos which are aligned. And for me, that beyond the profitability and beyond the economics of running business, I enjoy mentoring startups which have a social impact along with it. When I say social impact, not the CSR bit, like the solutions when they uplift the go to the grassroots level to uplift someone, those startups really get my attention. Because I mean, some of the startups are in agri startups, some are in healthcare in rural parts of India, and these are startups which are trying that combination to be profitable. You need to be profitable, you need to show the returns, because that's when the funding comes in, right? So that is important. But at the same time, their story also has a huge positive impact when it's reaching the grassroots. So that's the combination I generally like. Obviously, being a tech person, many startups are reaching out only with that mindset of, can you guide us in the AI bit? That adds another dimension, yes, because it's fun to work in new tech and see that stack, what's happening. But broadly, these two things are what I look out for when someone comes for mentoring on a startup.
And also this whole thing of Shark Tank, fueling the startup ideas, I want to go give a pitch there, and people get inspired. So tell me your experience at Shark Tank. How does it go? We really want to hear from you. Do you all want to be featured on Shark Tank? Yes. Yes, no? Yes. Or you just want to make money?
More important.
That's more important.
He's the first one.
So we want to hear from you. What was your experience? How does that work?
So, I kind of have mixed feelings about it. Because 10 minutes into it, our drone crashed. And the entire audience who saw it, like, I go to everybody and I introduce like, I'm so and so, I run this company, we were featured on Shark Tank. Or like, which season? Who gave you fund and all? I was like, you remember the drone crash company? I was like, oh yeah, that guy's for you. I was like, yeah, that is fine. I was like, so what happened is, after that crash, my co-founder came out of the shooting room and she literally cried. It's like we went with full confidence that this is something we have built from scratch, put in like 3-4 odd years, published patents, and we have a lot of substance that we are going to shine like anything. But in first 10 minutes, we gave a pitch and we expected the bot to do everything as required or as programmed to do. The only unknown variable was the shark coming in and taking the controller from my hand, which we didn't account for. If at all, it would have accounted for, maybe the situation would have been different. I think life is like that, like things take U-turn or sudden changes unexpectedly. And the editors were there were also not shutting down their cameras. They were like, okay, go on, go on. So we were like, we were literally, I mean like, drone crashes are usual for us. Like we had like 100 or maybe odd, because it was a 12th iteration that we did for our drone. But the crashing on national TV, the pride that we had, it's like, guys, if this go on TV, like we are going to go find a tunnel and be there. Don't come out. So, and we both were there, and our team has no idea what's happening inside the tank. But we somehow pushed our enthusiasm, and we just forgot about it. And we were there, and even the sharks were also like not like what was portrayed in the episode. Like they have added good sound effects, but it was not like that. It was really chill, and sharks were also like, hey, see, it would have been better if Anupam got hit. So they were joking about it, and they were like, guys, if it hits, next thing is hospital in Shark Tank. So, but anyways, that was the experience. First 10 minutes, we were so depressed. We pulled up. We tried to answer a lot of questions that were asked for us. And we finally pulled off a check thanks to Aman, founder of Boat, who saw that though we had flaws in our tech and whatever presentation we have done, he really appreciated grit that we had. We didn't give up even though we had a good acquisition offer that we got on plate, that the company is really big, doing good business, and they want to just take our startup and include us as employees in their startup. But we said no to it, and it took a lot of courage, because we went from a team of 30 to 4 when we were presenting to Shark Tank. We were running out of cash. My co-founder was like, we are a drone company, Shark Tank is for beauty products, so-and-so products, why are we going on Shark Tank? And I was like, no, this is, at least if you are going to die, let's die big. Let's show everybody that we have tried something very odd. So I was able to convince her, and I think that's what made her cry also after Shark Tank. So it was a good experience. It took like around 3 odd months of grinding process. They do a lot of stages, do pre-auditions and everything. But to be frank, on the tank, nothing gets stopped. So cameras will be rolling. No, it's like this panel discussion itself. You have live everything. Sharks are there. Even matter of fact, for us, they told us that it's just a practice session. You just go and give a practice pitch. The moment they opened the doors, sharks were there. And I was like, I mean, the TV, the sensationalization thing, right? Like they want to capture that raw emotion. So I was seeing that playing live, and it felt surreal, and it was over by like 2-3 hours. And the moment we came out, it's more of like a, how can you say, like if you are in a trampoline, you jumped and you came out, the adrenaline is kicking in, like, oh, we just did it, like we were on Shark Tank. But afterwards, we have to wait for another 3 months to air the show. That is another journey that we had. But in the meantime, that Shark Tank thing has helped us a lot, and we found a customer who was searching for a drone that we made for 2 years, and he was not able to find us because we, being from engineering background, were not good marketers. He didn't find us, but from Shark Tank, he found us. He was like calling us, hey guys, we were looking for this same product. While we were in a disarray that, oh, did we make a product that nobody wants to buy? But when we went to Shark Tank, that happened. And I think TV as such is a good medium still now compared to social media or anywhere. That once you are on TV, every corner of India knows you. And every corner of them, like next day after the episode airing, I was going to an event, and especially this was in Delhi. Some people were coming and taking photos of mine. I was like, guys, okay. I was not used to it, but it was good to have experience. Shark Tank as such, I think, also helped explain my mother what funding is, which I failed to do for last 4 years. She was like, okay, you took this much of money from them, when are you going to give back? When are you going to pay the interest? Do they take our home back? So all these things were there, and she was like, no, don't do the entrepreneurship, don't do this. I have heard a so-and-so uncle have put 10 lakhs in stock market and he lost his entire house. So I was like, no, this is different. And I was not able to explain, but the Shark Tank was able to explain it. So I think I can go on if you let me, but yeah.
I think I want to add one thing from his experience and also some context from my conversation with your dean. What is one of the biggest takeaway that you should have from Prem Sai's story, right? Failure is okay. If an Elon Musk can fail, so can Pawan and Prem fail, right? How many times did Elon Musk rocket fail? No energy. How many times? Do you guys know? Do you guys follow? His 3 rockets failed. First 3, right? His Tesla car demo failed. Do you know how many demos go wrong? So one thing for you to learn is failure is okay. Don't be afraid of failure. If you're afraid of failure, you're not going to try new things. If you don't try new things, you're not going to innovate. Right? College is the first place. I think I've had a beautiful experience in my college. My college taught me it's okay to fail. College is the best place for you to try so many different things and still be okay to fail because nobody is judging you. Right? That should be one of the biggest takeaways, I think, from your experience.
Yeah, definitely. Also make a joke of it.
Thank you so much. I'm sure sometimes we have this, like, we should have done this differently, or maybe have chosen the other path. Like you said, when you fail, you're like, no, why did I even try this, right? So my question to Aniket is, you've experienced a diverse journey from starting a bootstrap company to achieving a 100 crore milestone, being acquired by a global company and even an IPO, right? Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently?
I would have probably made 10,000 crores if I had not sold. I mean, I'm just joking. See, the wants are always unlimited, right? I mean, looking back of building business for about 12 years, I've realized that it takes a longer than 10, 12 years, 15 years to build a sustainable long-term business. It takes that perseverance, that relentlessness in your approach for those years. Every day just getting up and showing up, sometimes it feels like boring, but just doing that work every day, every month, every year has to go through that process. Everybody, right? And I'll tell you, there's no shortcut. So one of the things that we would have not done is that we would have not done IPO, we would have not sold our company, we would have probably sticked on a little more longer. When in 10 years of our journey, we saw that there was a inbound interest to acquire our company, and we quickly sort of surrendered to that with a little bit of money, right? And I wish that we had just sticked around for a lot more longer, is what one of the learnings has been. Also, like, the other thing that I could have built an even bigger and better brand from India, because post-COVID, India sort of economy boomed in a very different direction. Too many positive things happening in the country. So I think those were some of the sort of key things happened around this. And if you're in that right time, right place, you will actually go through all those cycles. And everybody has to go through that cycle for a successful outcome, I would say. It takes that much long journey. Nothing comes shortcut, nothing happens overnight. I know a lot of people here make like good, quick money, like 10,000 a day or 15,000, 20,000 a day, but those are not sustainable, honestly, right? Building business long-term, just being entrepreneur takes that journey. Also, money is something that I can tell you a little bit of advice from that. One of the things is that I have built business. When I made my first money, it's not about buying fancy luxury things. It's about how do you make the money work for you rather than you working for money. So a lot of people talk about saying, hey, you know what, in 30 if you invest right, you become retired and all of that. It's actually it's a very gimmicky thing. It's about how do you sort of plan your life much better. It's much beyond all of those short form content. So think of that, that it's a cyclic journey and you have to be at all those moments in life to get a better outcome.
Amazing. So now let's open the forum for students to ask you all questions. So you can ask a question to the speakers. Who wants to go first? What's the first skill that an entrepreneur should have? Risk-taking. Yeah.
Ask questions.
First ask questions. Who wants to go?
We should start asking questions. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let me begin with that. I know it's a post-lunch hour and you have been listening to us patiently, right, for over an hour. I really appreciate that. So just to make it hopefully interesting. So who all of you know AI, right? I mean, not the coding, etc. part of it, right? What AI is, right? When I ask you, what comes to your mind? Quick shout out, please, or raise of hands. What comes to your mind? And so, what is AI?
Jarvis.
Oh, excellent. ChatGPT. Anyone else? So, would you agree it's Jarvis or ChatGPT? Okay, good. Now, okay. So, how many of you have used anything that you think is AI outside of ChatGPT?
Raise your hands.
Yeah. Could you please tell me what was that?
I think it's an autocorrect.
Excellent. Excellent. Anyone else?
It's an autocorrect.
Yeah. Anyone else? Please feel free. There might be things that you know which I may not know or we may not know, right? Yeah.
I want to ask a question to Mr. Team. So, okay. Yeah. Like, what made you like the thought which gave you like to make the drones and to help the people out? Like, what thought gave you like to make it a huge brand out of it?
Thank you for the question. I think we can give a huge round of applause for him, like he asked the question.
Surely become an entrepreneur.
Well, yeah, I mean, like there was a lot of risk and he took it. So let's give him a reward. Also, if you reach out to me, I can also chat with you. What is your name? What? Shravan. Okay, I'll remember it. So, Shravan. To be frank, I never wanted to do drones. So my journey is little unorthodox. So if you know, like before IIT JEE itself, I had some small group of guys who are entrepreneurial business in nature. We used to like bunk classes, go to movies first days. But I was like odd one cut out. I used to be a backbencher, but with the top grades. So that is something that I had, which my friends didn't have. But after going to college, IIT, they were like, okay, you are in IIT, let's use that. Let's go and do something saying that, oh, you are an IITian and if you say something, you are going to believe it. So that kind of mentality, like we started with a news website. So back then there was no React.js or whatever it is. I went into college in 2014, graduated from in 2018. So 2016 is when I was talking to different guys. I said there were a lot of famous websites like Scoop, there was in Telugu we have something called Chai Biscuit. So all those things they were coming up. We were like, okay, we will also do one thing on our own. So we thought we will try. We failed terribly in building a website. but I got something out of it. Like I knew how web technology works. I knew what is HTML was. I knew what was CSS. So all this stuff we did it because we just wanted to like make a fun website like others were doing back then, and just wanted to give it to our friends and try. And then came next venture where we tried building a game app, and we built a app so hard that nobody was excited to play it. And they were like, guys, build something that we can play. They were like, after 10th level, reaching 11th level is like next to impossible apart from us, where we added a cheat mode. But anyway, they didn't know about it, and that also failed. And then comes the drone stint where one of my roommates, we were like, an event was happening like this, and they called us to be volunteer. And I went to just volunteer, just to like see what's happening and what's not. So there I met a senior, and he was hardcore mechanical guy, and he was like, let's make a drone. Because here we are seeing small kids coming and talking about their RC planes and all. So that's how my drone journey has started, and I was always into it for fun. I never wanted to like thought I will make a big venture out of this, because before Vecross I was doing blockchain. In 2017 and 18 blockchain was huge, and people are getting funded left and right. Matter of fact, one of my project was also got eligible to get $1 million in funding while I was in college, 4th year. But what happened there was, the next part I have realized, the cool fun part and money part is okay as a startup, but I had a problem with my co-founder, or he had one with me, and that even despite having that funding didn't go forward. So what I did was, let's stick to what is fun. I skipped my placements and I tried to focus on patents. So I thought, if I'm doing this for fun, let's do it for one patent and see what happens. Maybe more to US, or maybe like work for a company. If you know, like there's a company which does drone light shows. Have you ever heard of it? So he's like 2 years senior to me, the co-founder. So he was from IIT Delhi itself. He was there. He was also struggling like a lot of startup entrepreneurs do. But I had first-hand experience to talk to him, to learn from him what software goes into drones, what hardware goes into drones. And he was kind enough to like extend that gratitude to teach me, or like give some 2-3 tips on what to pursue. While they are doing good now, we are doing good in completely different domain, which is also okay. Where I found this passion to continue drones, because I was interacting with senior and I was at the right place. And it was never my intention to like help anyone or like do drones big, but that eventually came when we saw that we gave first drone to someone who was using it for national disaster relief programs, and we were very excited that something that we built, something that was in my thought. It's like you see beautiful moon, you paint it out, and you think something which is like a beautiful drone, and you see it live flying, and you have programmed it with your own hands. It's kind of like a surreal experience that you experience, and that's what I was grateful enough to experience. And after that, after doing all the technology, people were itself, they were like, can you use this drone here, can you use this drone there, can you use this drone, so and so application. It was okay that we didn't know what we wanted to do finally after building this technology, but the people who found it, like giving a cell phone to a kid, they know exactly what they want, and they were able to use it, and that's the most exciting, I think, part of being an entrepreneur.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So now we'll move to the fun segment, the rapid fire round. For this, I request Noyonita to join us on stage. We want to ask you, so the rapid fire round works like this. So each of you will get a series of 5 to 7 questions. You need to be quick, you need to be rapid, and just what comes to your mind first. Who wants to go first among all of you? Who wants to go first for the rapid fire round? Pawan, no? Yes. If you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Home. That's the best place to be.
Bengaluru is famous for its IT industry. If you had to rename it with a quirky name, what would you give?
Namur dosa. Bengaluru should be all about filter coffee and dosa, right?
Now, this leads to your next question, your best and favorite dosa joint in Bangalore.
I think I have one. I have several ones. I'm a big dosa and idli buff. I keep traveling. CTR, I think, would probably be.
What's one smart city feature you wish Bengaluru could have right now?
This is getting implemented. This was a paper that we wrote in 2010, which is to look at the traffic density and allocate time. That's getting implemented now. I think most of the traffic, if you're seeing the new traffic lights in Bangalore with WAC written on it, that's what they're doing. So if there is traffic higher in one lane, there'll be more time dedicated to it versus then you don't have to keep waiting as a repetitive contour.
Amazing. I think they like the rapid fire round. Entertainment industry, food industry, or fintech, which is your favorite?
Just chilling at home.
No, you've been a part of all the three.
I think the industry is agnostic. Problem solving is what is interesting. Right? I could be a dosa man one day. I wouldn't mind.
You know, have you all tried Namaste Cafe? Yeah? Okay, I'm not promoting, but anyway. Hiring or firing, which is a tougher decision to make?
Firing is a very, very tough decision to make. Most people don't think that it's tough, but people who hire know firing is very, very difficult. So that's why they don't hire as fast.
Okay. Your last question, getting a startup idea or raising funds, which one is difficult?
Finding a startup idea is more difficult.
Okay. Thank you. Give me a round of applause for someone. Who wants to go next? Okay, Anki. Ready? Which startup CEO do you admire the most?
Startup CEO I admire the most. I've been admiring Narayan Murthy sir. That's my inspiration. And second is Ratan Tata. These two are people that I admire.
Okay. Which Bengaluru cafe is your favorite for meetings?
Oh, actually so by the way, I can tell you that I actually don't go to any of these big joints like Starbucks and all of that. I used to go to this interesting place called MDP Coffee House, which is shut now. But that was like a 20 rupees coffee where you can sit and talk. And that's the place I like. So I'm a big fan of filter coffee and dosa, so that's a place that I hang out with.
Amazing. Running or yoga?
If I say yoga, then my wife will be happy. If I say running, I'll be happy. So let's keep it yoga for my wife. Yeah.
Which feels more like a marathon? Building a startup or running an actual marathon?
Both are killing and drilling, man. I mean, both will kill you emotionally. Running will kill you mentally, physically. So both are like. But it's fun to do marathons because I think I've started enjoying marathons. So I would say now marathon building. I've built companies, so now I want to take a little bit of backseat and just have fun running. So running a marathon.
Okay. What's one thing startups need, but they don't realize it at first?
Startup needs good quality leadership. I would say leaders means not leaders, good founding team, I would say below founders, a team that can sort of push beyond the founders itself. Just the status quo of what everything should not go to the founder, but if the guys who can think from first principle thinking, challenge the status quo. I would look at those leaders. I would look at people who can build companies with founders for 10, 12 years. I think those are the guys I look for.
And your last question, what is the best way to stay productive as a founder?
Hey man, so best way to stay productive is that do something apart from your core work, like running or fitness or something that you like, passionate about photography or wildlife, anything that you enjoy, keep doing that very early on in life, because the first best chance that you get is your 20s that you can do. The probably the second and the third best chance is your late 20s and 30s. So go for it in the first attempt. Start liking a hobby. Have something that is not something like a non-mainstream to your work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, who wants to go next? Ready? Jairam sir. What's one feature you wish Bengaluru traffic management could AI enhance?
I think we should flag. So I have a priority order which I have prepared, right? So who are the ranked order of violators? The first one is auto rickshaw walas, the second are BMTC, the third are the yellow cab guys. I think if I were to build an AI system, I would flag them automatically and send it to a traffic commissioner's database right away, right? And I think 80% of a problem will get solved.
Coffee or tea? Which one powers your creativity?
That's a hard one. I would say both, because I'm a half coastal guy and half Bangalore guy, so I like both. When I'm in Bangalore, it's coffee. When I'm around hometown, it's always chai. So yeah.
Okay. If you could attend one tech conference anywhere in the world, which one would that be?
Tough one. I would love to be in one of those. It's not a conference per se, but one of the Apple's annual releases in person per se. Yeah.
Next startup capital of India, according to you?
I think HSR. But I think it should be something we are able to drill down more and more great ideas be executed beyond the congested cities. I think that's what I wish for. I think the whole talent, the capital, everything hopefully gets more and more sort of decentralized. So there is more diversity of ideas, and also the whole trend is more impactful on the ground. I think that's what I wish for.
Netflix or YouTube for unwinding after a long day?
I think I shouldn't be answering in front of this crowd. I should say I don't do any of this. But to be honest, I think for the diversity of content, so I watch most of which is current affairs, right? So it's mostly YouTube. Yeah, that's about it. And so much less of Netflix, because Netflix doesn't provide as many documentaries as to my liking. So.
Awesome. Biggest Bengaluru tech innovation you have seen?
One is definitely Namayatri innovation per se.
The first app you check in the morning?
Zerodha.
And that's your last question. Thank you so much. Can we have a big round of applause? Who wants to go next? Noyonita? Vignesh? Okay. Ready?
Sure.
Are you all ready? Yes. Awesome. What's your current favorite tech gadget?
Current favorite tech gadget. Okay. I'm trying to get one, the rabbit gadget, but that's still not out. But definitely would want to look at the iPhone 16, especially, which is coming out. So let's see how it goes.
One book or podcast that inspires your work?
Yeah, I'm a podcast kind of guy. So books also, I'm more of the audible person. So not something, maybe if I look at my senses, my ears are better than my eyes maybe. So I always take it through my ears.
Any podcast you recommend the students to watch?
So there are AI podcasts, not specific, I'm not going to name people, but if you go to Spotify, the big tech companies have, like Nvidia and all, run their own podcasts. Take those podcasts which are genuinely coming out from the actual creators. Rather than, when I say podcast, listen to the core tech rather than opinions on the core tech.
Best advice received from your mentor?
Interesting one. Okay. some context, all of us have put in 18, 19 hours continuously. It has happened in my career a couple of times. Burnouts are reality. So one phrase I keep very close, which he keeps uttering whenever I'm in some crisis is, end of the day, you can still walk out. Family comes first. So that's something that I keep as my guiding light.
Okay. If AI had emotions, what emotion would it show the most?
Oh, that's a big debate. There is two groups here, right? Sorry, this doesn't look like a fireside chat anymore. It looks like a fireside chat rather than a spontaneous answer. But already people are saying that it has its own emotions. But according to me, if it had emotions, it might actually have a very cognitive side of it, because that's where it is trained at this point in time. So maybe a frustration could be the first emotion that might come out, because that's where it is actually playing at this point in time.
Nice. What's your go-to snack for a late night work session?
Boring answer. I follow a strict diet, so anything after 8 is strict no-go at our house. So we don't have late night snacks. So that it's either maybe it could be a green tea or something like that, not beyond that. I can't resonate with that group for sure, because I know my daughter brings new Cheetos and this and that, but I'm way off those.
Okay. So what is the biggest advantage and disadvantage that Gen Zs have?
Biggest advantage, okay. You're blessed to be in a time where tech is booming, and in a country where things are all coming together, right? Like everything is now coming together for you to thrive. Where Gen Z is getting lost a bit is overload of information. I think that's where you need to put those filters, not necessarily completely be off the radar, but please consume things which really add value to your whatever you're learning, right? Just don't waste your time using the same content again and again.
Your last question is, who is your dream LinkedIn connection that you haven't made yet?
I have tried this couple of times to just sneak into Satya's Nadana's. I've sent him requests, but yeah, I admire him as a person mainly because of how I've seen him transform Microsoft, and if at all I get that link, connect, maybe that will be the most cherished at this point in time.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Can you have a round of applause with Dave, sir? Who wants to go next? Noyonita or Prem? If you could relive one moment from Miss Universe, what would that be?
I think it would be the moment I met Donald Trump, because the year after that is when he became a president. So I think I'd have a very completely different conversation with him, because he owned the Miss Universe organization at that time.
Amazing. Wow. Confidence or beauty, which matters more?
Wow, I feel like I'm back at Miss Universe. I think beauty is very subjective. What I find beautiful, the person next to me might not. And I truly believe that we should never put ourselves in a box and allow someone else to tell you what is beautiful. So of course, confidence.
Amazing. Your favorite city in the world?
Bombay, Mumbai.
And who is your biggest role model?
So strangely, while growing up, I never really had role models, because I feel role models are humans at the end of the day. Of course, you can learn from each. I can learn so much from you, and there's no one particular role model.
The best advice you've ever received?
I think this was before I went for the Miss Universe pageant. Lara Datta, who is a former Miss Universe winner, she was the one who trained me, and this is the one advice that she gave me. She said, I think one of the speakers here mentioned that life will always throw a curveball, right? Like your drone failing and stuff like that. There are certain things which are not under your control, and you can never fully plan. And that is when things go off track, is your resilience, is what matters. So yes.
Modeling or mentoring, what is more fulfilling?
Definitely mentoring. To see someone take away and learn something from your experiences is way more wholesome.
Your last question, Bengaluru in one word.
Home.
Home. Thank you so much. Give me a round of applause for Noyonita Lodh. And our last rapid fire round is for Prem. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you going to be rapid?
Let's try as fast as drone.
Okay. Your first question. If your life were a book, what would the title be?
Already speed breaker, so speed breakers.
Speed breakers. What is the most exciting thing about being featured on Shark Tank? Just one word.
I'm not famous yet.
Okay. Favorite movie that involves AI and robotics?
Iron Man.
If you weren't working in drones, which tech field would you explore?
I would create drones again
Okay.
as a field.
What's your go-to Bengaluru food?
Karam dosa.
Karam dosa.
I've been here since 3 months. I just
Okay.
recently shifted.
What is the most surprising use of drones you have discovered?
Put a light and do drone light show. So that was a very surprising thing that I have seen.
And my last question for you is dream city where you'd love to test your drones.
Mars. I want to be very inspired by Musk's vision to send a drone to Mars. We also had a conversation that if you are going to design drone for a Mars environment, how are we going to do it? So Mars is the goal. So let's see if we can survive.
Thank you, and that's a wrap of our rapid fire round. A big round of applause for all the speakers. We had wonderful insights from each one of you, and that comes to an end of our panel discussion. Any last words that you want to say to the students?
I want to leave something for you to take away. Hopefully it's going to be some exciting bit or, you feel good about tomorrow. So, you're all in first year, second year, right? So you might not be really got your hands on advanced programming, etc., right? So how many want to try out to build something with AI? Anything that you want to, right? In quick time, without having to really do it. Okay. Here is what you need to do, right? Go to conma.ai, right? So spend 5 minutes. You can come out with some experience, anything that you want to imagine in your head, and try it right away, right? Now, further down the line, when you get more advanced, you can put it in an app, website, your own web page, your college, or anything that works, right? So can we begin with that? So that will be a great takeaway from this discussion. I mean, at least something tangible sort of for you to appreciate that, okay, I got done and I can see that, right? Beyond all the nugget of wisdoms you definitely have got here.
See, only takeaway from, at least from this side, right? Like maybe all of us look more refined now, but please trust us that, at least I can tell for myself and for sure others, that every one of us learned a lot during our failures, okay? When we failed is the moment when we stopped, we thought why we failed, and we course corrected. So please do not be scared of failures. I think already it has been told, but just wanted to re-emphasize it because that's one area that I see in youngsters when they join the industry, right? That urge to outperform, not collaborate, keep things to themselves so that they can look like the best. That is not going to take you far when you come to the industry. So learn as much as possible to deal with failures, understand what led to those failures, and build on those weak links that led you to fail. That is what is going to be the true, positive outcome of your 4 years here, because learn it now so that you can practice it out when you come to the industry. And industry really appreciates people who fail and have the guts to stand up and say, I messed it up because of ABC, I've learned my lesson, and next time around I'll ensure that this will never happen. So please follow that. I'm sure that's the only key takeaway for me in my 20 plus years. And I'm sure all of us from this side will tell that we have had loads and loads of failures from which we have learned, okay? So please practice that. That's my only key takeaway for all of you.
So one big takeaway is that I met co-founder at a college, right? And I think you guys have formidable years. You guys should invest in not transactional relationship, build an emotional relationship. I think we've spoken about it a little bit on that topic as well. These are the times that look at your life today and 10 years forward. Most of you will be, either some of you will be entrepreneurs, some of you will be working as a leadership in some responsibility. At some point, a lot of this sort of collaboration will come together. So invest time in building those relationships, foster those relationships, and then everything else is a greater outcome. The foundational layer is that this is where you can meet your partner, co-founders, and think of a problem that you can solve after. A great start, and personally I started when I was 21 years old, so I think this is a great platform that you're at today.
I can share something from my own personal experience. I think this is relevant for most of you. If you really want to be happy, successful and content, you have to stop comparing yourself to others. What social media is doing today is painting a very rosy picture. You should stop believing what you see on social media. And two, your biggest takeaway should be to stop comparing yourself or somebody else's success to you. That should be one of the biggest takeaway, and you should model your life along with it, because everybody is different, every path is different, everybody's journey will be different, right? You have to find that journey for yourself and don't get too caught up into, my friend is doing this, or he got this job, he got this internship, he went to this company. All that you will see with time and experiences. Yes, your friend might buy a car today, you will buy a better car tomorrow, right? Don't worry if he has a Swift today, you might actually own a Mercedes-Benz tomorrow, right? So stop comparing yourself with others. Just do what you are good at doing and what you love to do.
So just have fun. NASA subsidiary or like extension, like JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So they started out as a fun project out of college, and now see where they are. And lot of first year or second years are formative years, and need to have a lot of fun, and also include some part of curriculum where you can take fun and make something out of it. So maybe like if you're going to Coorg or Kabini, whatever place you are planning, build something and take it there. Or if you are a CS guy, take photos like Mark Zuckerberg did, compare it, do face mask kind of application, and read history about tech. So if you read a lot of history about technology, they came from very unknown places and fun places. They just were like miracles, like somebody did this out of curiosity and it came out. And maybe tomorrow one of you can be that, and I really wish it, out of these 200 guys, at least one come out and help our Indian economy or whole country or whole world in a way. So that's it. But have fun, yeah.